What's going on, everybody? I'm Wyza. If you're new here, found me in the search, welcome to my channel. As for the usual suspects, the Wyza family, welcome to another video. Here I'm going to be doing a fantasy draft, and I'm going to be doing it with the Cowboys. Seeming as though they always get the pieces to the puzzle that they need, and they just can't piece them together to win a championship, I'm going to try to piece my own puzzle together with these guys and win one for the Gipper, or win one for, I call him got him coach, but yeah. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm going to try my best to kind of explain a little bit how fantasy draft works and my method on how I chose my team. And if you want to use some of these tips, it's up to you completely. First thing you want to do when you do a fantasy draft, pause the draft. If you don't pause the draft, it will go by in the blink of an eye, and the computer will pretty much make all your picks. So you want to pause it so that you can take a look at guys. The next tip I want to give you, pick your quarterback first. Quarterbacks go immediately. And if you're at the end of the draft, you're going to end up with not such a great quarterback. Now, one thing I can say is that it is a snake draft. So if you're at the end of the draft, you do go like in the beginning of the next round, but then you have that long layover until the third round, and it's pretty harsh. But luckily, I was able to pick up Colin Kaepernick and Mr. Skittles, Mr. Hole His Dick himself, Marshawn Lynch. I decided to go with over the other running backs here. I decided to go with him over MJD, over Jamal Charles, and over Chris Johnson because, let's face it, the guy is a tackle-breaking, bulldozing machine. Next, you can if you want. I went on ahead and picked up Dez Bryant because I noticed that some of the wide receivers, some of the good-name wide receivers are disappearing. Dez Bryant has some good speed, but he can catch his ass off. His catch rating is up there. I believe it's at like a 96, 97 catch rating. So I went with him. Now, on this one, I said, all right, I got to go defense. I went 3 offense back to back to back. I got to go defense. So I'm looking, I'm like, what cornerbacks can I get? I missed out on some of the names that I was looking for. I said, all right, nobody here is a big enough name. So let me go to linebacker. I need a middle linebacker since, the game is going to be run heavy, supposedly. So who can I use? I'm looking at Brian Cushing. I'm looking at Lawrence Timmons. And one thing I like to go for, I like to look at strength. I like to look at hit power, tackling, and zone coverage. If I could get awareness is definitely a plus. And also like agility and block shedding and things like that. Block shedding is one of the major things I look at when picking a linebacker. So I decided to go with Brian Cushing. Maybe because he's a New Jersey guy and I'm from Jersey. So that's why he kind of tilted the scale. But he has some pretty good stats, so I decided to go with him. So what is fantasy draft, some of you may be asking? It's pretty much where all the team's players are put into a draft pool and you get to pick your team from scratch. You get to start the whole thing over. Here I went with Demaryius Thomas. I had to grab him because he's a burner. 98 speed or something, 96 or 98 speed, something like that. And I said, I can't pass up on that guy. I got to grab him now. So then I'm like, okay, I got the pieces, but then I'm like, I could go defense again, or I could stack my line and just make my offense just monster. And I need to protect my quarterback. So what I looked for was I looked for good run blocking since I plan on running the ball a lot. And I looked toward pass blocking because pass blocking, man, you don't want blitzes to just come screaming through, or you don't want to start sitting there and yelling at your team for not blocking properly. So I found some sort of kind of steals in here. I found some guys with good stats. Of course, the higher rated guys have good stats, but later on I ended up finding some guys with some pretty good stats that didn't have high overalls. And another thing you want to look at is awareness. If you plan on running the ball and you're going to have pulling guards a lot and pulling tackles and centers or whatever, you're going to want to look at their speed also. So now I'm like, okay, I need a guy that I can control. I like to use the free safety. Either the free safety or the middle linebacker is who I use manually. I never use the D-line unless I just so happen to be on the D-line before the snap as I'm making alterations or adjustments. So I said, who can I use? I like speed, I like catching, and I like hit power. Those are the things that I look for when I'm choosing my safety. And for this one, I believe I went with Landry. Look at that hit power. I have to take a look at his catch. I'm not sure. I think looking at that, no, I didn't go with Landry. I went with Daniel Manning. He doesn't have a high hit power, but he has a nice jump and a really high catch compared to all of these other guys. So I went with him, and he has pretty decent height. So I went with Daniel Manning. All right. So now I gotta beef up my secondary. I'm gonna go on ahead and grab Jonathan Joseph. He has good man. He has good speed, which are two things you definitely want to go for. Man, speed, and coverage are definites. So now I'm like, all right, want to stop the run some more. I want to send some blitzes. You know, now when I look for my outside linebackers, I try to go for speed. I try to go for hit power and awareness because I like to blitz. I like to send heat off the edge. I like to do all of that stuff. Here I take a little look at what's going on with the D-line, what's available. Whenever I want to pick a defensive tackle, I look for a guy that has a lot of size to him, but also a lot of strength, and also maybe a good power move. I didn't see what I was looking for there, so I decided to go on ahead and fill up a couple more holes on my offensive line. Here I see I need a right guard, and I find what I think is a pretty good steal. Look at that run block up there. I don't know. Decided to go in. Anyway, so now I'm like, all right, I need to get a second cornerback. I need to get one. I missed out on Sam Shields, who I wanted. I'm looking at Janoris Jenkins. He has some really good stats, but his press coverage isn't that good. I say I know he'll slip. One more pick, and I have another one coming right back behind it since I got like pick 20. So I got like pick maybe 12 or something like that in the next round. So I said, all right, let me grab a center. Let me beef up this offensive line some more. And I grabbed Will Montgomery. I don't even know what round this is because I have it on pause. And when you have it on pause, it allows you to get more time in case you're wondering what pause does. It lets you take a look at stats. It lets you take a look at players you may need. It lets you go on ahead and back out and look at some of the available players or some of the positions that you've already filled. And I'll show you guys that in a minute. But here I go on ahead and grab that Janoris Jenkins. I feel like I can't let him slip anymore because with this, if you guys have any tips or if you guys already have noticed some things, go on ahead and let me know down in the comment section. But one thing I noticed, if you want a player, you have to grab him immediately because I didn't see any direction with the computer. I didn't see that the computer was picking like, all right, we pick a bunch of these in this round. We pick a bunch of these in this round. Usually it's Cecil Shorts is a really good steal, especially that low in the draft. But I didn't see like, all right, they kind of go round by round and pick certain positions, which they used to do. Tyler Eifert, really good tight end. Definite steal for that low in the draft. So there was no real pattern that I noticed that I can follow. So what I will say is if you want somebody, get him immediately. Even if he's like not that high rated player and he's kind of lower on the list, computer will steal him. They will steal him. So let's go right back. I got to fill in my right outside linebacker. Who do I grab? I'm looking at Courtney Upshaw. He has hit power. He has tackling. But then I take a look at Bruce Carter. I don't know what it was that made me pick him, but I went on ahead and grabbed him anyway. So now, real quick, since I have the time, since I have it on pause, I take a look at my team. I look at what I got going on so far. I look for any holes that I have to fill. Fullback, whatever. My wide receivers are good. Tight end, I'm fine. My offensive line, I think I'm completely legit. I don't have to pick anything there. Taking a look, we need to go on ahead and get some D-line. I'll let the computer do that stuff. Linebackers, I'm full. My cornerbacks, I got my top two. I need a third. Free safety, I need to grab. All right, so now that I know that, I go back to the draft board and I say, all right, I know what I need. Let's go on ahead and get these guys. So I take a look at what's available with the free safeties. I'm like, all right, what do I need? This is what I pick. I mean, this is what I picked because I'm going to be using them, so they really don't have to be that high overall because I'm in complete control of them. But there are some things that I do need. I need them to be able to catch, and I need them to be able to jump. Because those are two things that I really don't have that much control over. So I look at this guy, he has a pretty nice catch rating. And compared to everybody else, he has a pretty decent jump. He's pretty much up there with the top guys that are remaining with jump. So I go on ahead and grab DJ Swearinger. I hope I'm saying it right. He's a rookie out of South Carolina. I'm not sure of his name like that. I apologize. Don't want to sound like T. Martin here. All right, so now I know I need to grab a third cornerback. I need a good nickel. I'm looking at Rasheem Mathis. He has good speed. He has good coverage. But there's something missing. His man coverage is okay. But then I see Pac-Man Jones. And Pac-Man Jones got that 91 man coverage. Not a good zone coverage, but as a nickel, I think I'm going to go on ahead and grab him with that 92 speed. So now we need another running back. If I'm going to be running the option, let's suppose Marshawn goes down. David Wilson, I believe, is the best pickup for what I'm going to be running. I want to have a lot of speed, and also David Wilson can return kicks. So that's the guy I went with. Now I need a backup tight end. Who do I go with? I'm looking for somebody that's a good run blocker that got pretty decent hands that I could look at as like a third or fourth option. So I go with John Carlson. I'm sorry once again. He has pretty good run blocking compared to everybody else that's left. So I go on ahead and grab him, and looking at his catch, I think this guy is a steal this late in the draft. So I'm going to pick one more guy before I let the computer take over. I'm taking a look at the quarterbacks. I need a decent backup. So I want a guy that could actually, run the ball and has a big arm. I don't know why I'm showing you guys Matt Barkley because that's not what I'm looking for. But it was between Tyrod Taylor and, what the heck? Terrell Pryor, I'm sorry. Tyrod Taylor and Terrell Pryor was who I was looking at. And I looked at the throw power. Terrell Pryor had it by far. And I also, actually not by far, he actually was pretty tied with him. The speed, Terrell Pryor had it. And also the main thing I went with was the size. And also that he was pretty popular in last year's Madden. So I went with Terrell Pryor. Here I'm going to show you the team's top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 10 picks. So that you can see, or not top 10, but their top overalls. So that you guys can see how the other team shaped out. Go on ahead, take a look. At the very end of this, I'll show you a couple of highlights from my team. I'll tell you guys this. I'm only going to play one season of this fantasy draft with the Cowboys. And I'm doing this to kind of hold over because I'm going to do a Colts franchise. Not fantasy, but a full-blown franchise with the Colts. And I'm going to do it on the next gen. It was a tough decision. I wanted to do it on this one, but I'm not sure if it carries over. If somebody could find me an article and lets me know that the franchise will possibly carry over into next gen, then send that to me on my inbox. Not here in the comment section because the comment section do get a little bit of flooded. So let me know on my inbox if you find an article saying that we can carry over. If not, it's going to be this. And then when the next gen starts, I will be doing the Colts franchise. But that's all I have for today. Continue to look at the other teams' rosters here. And the highlights will be at the end of the video. It's not too much longer. Any requests that you guys want, let me know down in the comment section. I do plan on doing Connected Careers as a player. The Colts is going to be as an owner. And all right, it's official. Now that's all I have for you guys today. Go on ahead, make sure you leave a like on the video. If you're new here, go on ahead and subscribe because I have a ton more coming up, especially with Ultimate Team. I'll see you guys in the next video.
First down, offense readying for the snap. McCoy's going to secure the handoff. Gets past the first wave. Raiders in for the score. Looking to go up top again on first down. And he's forced to the ground. Cutler's going to take it from the gun. They bring him down one more time. And they protect their quarterback. Cutler steps back into the gun. He's got the grab, and he's got the first. That's a touchdown. After the penalty. The quarterback will hand it off. Touchdown. That'll close the gap. 3rd and 8 for the offense. Airing it out.
Got him, coach.
That's an interception. Second and 9. Working that left side. Jumps up and comes down with it. 2nd down and 7. He's looking to the right here on this throw. Touchdown as we near the end of this one.